So I'm here with Alex from Year 2, and he's going to tell us all about how he uses his book box. So let's find your book box first. Where is it? Okay, grab it. Let's go outside. Alright. So, what's in your book box, Alex?
So mostly books, some books that we're not reading yet, and some books that we're reading. And we have levels like level K, but it doesn't go to level Z. It's a lower level. And mostly when I get bored, I just look at this, even though it's not a book that I need. It's fun for me sometimes.
It's still reading, right? Yeah.
And these are pretty new. And sometimes you have books you should be looking around your level, since some are really different, like this one. This one's really different than this one.
How's it different? Is one more difficult than the other, do you think?
Yeah, it's always going see, this is what you mostly have to read, and this one.
Oh yeah.
And then this isn't really what we really have to read, so that doesn't count as how hard. But this, we have to read, and you can know if it's your level by looking at the corner, or maybe behind.
Okay.
It mostly shows you a K, or anything like that.
What else is in the book box?
This.
What's that?
We used to have different ones, but when we finish this, we get new ones. But I have another one. Some I didn't do my pictures with. It's our reading response homework folder, but I don't need it anymore because I'm on a new one. And this is when we read to our teacher. We also have some books that we read to. I have two, since I read to another teacher, and until she comes to read with me again, I'm allowed to put this with her. And the surprise dinner is why I read with Miss Colleen.
Okay, now how long will these books be in here? Do you change them quite often, or?
Sometimes mostly every week.
Right, okay, and where do you get the books from to go in your box?
It's from where your level is. There's another book box, kind of like this, but with lots of books and without these, so it would kind of look like that, but white and without a picture, like you.
And how do you know what level you are?
You have to tell the teacher when you think you're done, and it's getting too easy, so you need a change.
Right, okay. Have you changed levels this year?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah?
I skipped lots of levels before I went to level 10.
And okay, so I'm thinking about using these in Year 6 with the older kids. How do you organize this? How do you make sure that you remember to change your books, and that you haven't got old books in there that have been there for months? And basically, how do you just keep it organized? Because my students in Year 6 find organization very difficult. So how do you organize it?
I organize it like I read it, and if I read it a lot, the books in my book box a lot. But if I read it one day and I feel, this one's not good, but I still read it sometimes. So I read it again and again and again after that day. And when I think I understand it well, I know what it is, it's too easy, then you're allowed, I would mostly change it.
Okay. Alright.
It's mostly confusing. Sometimes I get a bit confused because it's like I read books and then I mostly read, then I read them again and I get confusing since then I think the time when I'm changing them, I think, oh, these all books are boring, I'm getting all them out, but like, I might forget I didn't read this one a lot of times, and then I already put it in the box.
Right.
That's why it's sometimes confusing when I have to read another book.
So you might end up taking a book back and putting it back even though you haven't read it.
Yeah.
Because you just you forgot which ones you've read and haven't read.
But
I wonder if someone in your class can help you out. Do you think there's somebody in your class that might be able to help you organize your box?
yes, I think 2 people maybe.
Okay, go grab them. Go grab them. Hello, who are you? What's your name?
I'm Yen.
And your name?
Alina.
Lena, right. Now I've been talking to Alex, and Alex says, whoa, I nearly dropped the camera. Alex says that he sometimes gets a bit confused about which books he's read and which books he hasn't read. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah.
And then he takes back books that he hasn't read and he puts them back. Now he reckons you two might be able to help him organize himself a little more. You got an idea?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I put my ones I read already in one section and the other section that I didn't read. Yeah, like we use these stuff because we read with Miss Colleen and we need to put books inside here, the books that we read with Miss Colleen, and we put them in our book box, and the books you already read, you put them on this side, and the books you haven't read, you put it on this side.
So you use this as the divider.
Yeah,
So
like
red books on this side.
Sometimes
Sorry?
you have something else. The shelf markers in the library.
Yeah, just like that. What were you going to say?
Sometimes you have something else like this, and you can put the ones that you still practice.
Well, you could even make your own special dividers, couldn't you? You can have, I've read these, or I'm in the middle of reading these, I've finished these, I need to practice these. You could have different sections in your book box. Then it could be super organized. Yeah, so, Alex, why don't you see if you can organize your box now. Use this as the divider. Books you've read on this side, books you haven't read on this side. He's probably read them all. Have you read them all?
No.
No?
They're really new. But I don't have the amounts that I have in here since the bell rang before I could change.
I see. So he's putting some books on the left. Is that finished?
Yep.
So these are...
The ones that I finished.
You've finished these. These are unfinished. So he's finished. Clifford Goes to Washington, Seal, and Mr. Oh no, the Bush Bunyip, right? Even though that one was a harder one, you finished that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then still got to read The Littles Do Their Homework. Fly Facts. So you've got fiction and non-fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is that something your teachers ask you to do? Do they like you to always have fiction and non-fiction in your book box?
Yeah. Just like library to be balanced with non-fiction and fiction. At library, she says if we get storybooks, we should, like, if we had, like, Like yesterday we had library. She said if we borrowed non-fiction, we should borrow fiction.
Yeah, so that, like Alex says, so that you have a balance.
Yeah, or maybe you have to borrow 2 books, so maybe one non-fiction and one fiction. Yeah, for your mom to read non-fiction and we read fiction.
Yeah, that's great. And that's really good that you're getting habits like that, because some of my Year 6 students, they only read fiction, and they will, if I tell them to, they'll read non-fiction, but mainly they only read non-fiction. And that's a shame. Sorry, fiction. They only read fiction. Okay, I think you've helped Alex organise his book box. I tell you what, next week, why don't I come down and I'll check his book box to see if it's still organised the right way. Yeah? All right then.
I don't know why we're doing the same thing.
Yeah, why are you dancing, girl?
But some of these books are actually that my mom's read.
Oh, okay. All right, so your mum helps you choose too?
No, not really. This is for our reading response homework. We bring some of the class library books home, and is that your old one?
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's his old phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was confused if it was or not because you had to put one in your folder. It's easy.
It's almost impossible to get these Year 2 students to stop talking about their reading, which is great, isn't it? All right, well, I'll come back next week and do some more videoing of you guys. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Alex. Don't forget to take your book box back.